It's absolutely great to be back in Mississippi with all of you, governor, mayors, the other elected officials, you, everyone from C Spire. It's my pleasure to be here to hear the enthusiasm about the cities here, about fiber infrastructure, about the state of Mississippi. It just is almost contagious, quite frankly. And the mayors have really said it all. The governor's said so many great things as well. And Hugh's opening remarks when he said it took 33 months for Google to get from announcement to installation, he's absolutely right. So mayors, consider yourself fortunate. It was a painful 33 months. I started taking the calls. When are they going to get this installed? They said it's going to be here, and it's not here yet. You guys have a big head start on that, and maybe you won't have to field as many of those calls. But that is really the phase that you're getting into now in these fiber hoods, is the expectation level's been raised. People are going to want this when they get it. The momentum is going to build in a phenomenal way. You move quickly from talking to seeing and to believing, and that's in fact what has happened in Kansas City as well. I'm a huge believer in what's going on with C Spire and the cities in Mississippi. I do believe, as Mayor Wiseman said, that this public-private partnership that's developed here that we experienced in Kansas City is a way for cities to get this infrastructure in the ground. In many cases, like my city as well, probably something that alone, without a private partner, we wouldn't have the capacity to robustly do. And to see that happen in Mississippi on a statewide basis with a company that's committed is absolutely phenomenal. I believe that this is the infrastructure of the future. I believe all the mayors that spoke about that, it's absolutely true. Unlike the interstate highway system, as the governor had mentioned, more of a federal approach, I think this is won and lost at the city and state level. And the cities and the states that figure out how to get a private partner and put that in place are going to be the places that see lasting benefits. They're going to be the ones that take off as this infrastructure becomes something that's essential to the growth of our communities. Kansas City's been up and running now for over a year, so we have seen some experiences, and I had the privilege of meeting with all of these mayors to talk about them. We have startup businesses that have been attracted from places as far away as Boston and California to Kansas City, Kansas. Before this was occurred, that would have been unheard of. They're attracted because of that infrastructure, but quite frankly, once they get here, and I suspect in all of your cities, they start telling a story in a much more in-depth way about what a great thing it is to be in Kansas City and having access to that kind of technology. Many of those startups now, and all of the mayors from these cities know, a lot of times the unsung heroes in our communities are those small businesses, the ones that come and grow in your community. And we're seeing that happen now. Those that have come are growing. One example, iVerify, you're going to read about it. They've gone from a small startup in our startup village to receiving rounds of angel investing. They're building their business today. They're becoming world-renowned, and they're putting us on the map because of that great public-private partnership, and they're creating jobs, homegrown jobs, in Kansas City. Ultra-high-speed connectivity has also put Kansas City on a map in the way that we would have never expected. So just as recently as this week, Kansas City was named the best city in starting an online business in the United States. That would have been unheard of as far as the awareness of what's going on in Kansas City before we had ultra-high-speed fiber and our partnership with Google. It's caused us at the local level, and I think this is going to be a great challenge for all the cities here in Mississippi to focus on economic development in different ways, sort of that paradigm shift. How do you attract those small businesses? What do you need to do for a startup? It's different sometimes than a TIF district. It might be more about how easy is it to get into City Hall to get started? What barriers might be in the way? How do you work hand in hand to create that 1, 2, and then 10 jobs? It's exciting times, and those are the things that are going to start happening as the shovels get dug here in Mississippi. I will say the final comment I have is that, green is good, and you're not done with the green yet. I think that, the key to this, and the key in Kansas City, it's a lot like a campaign for the elected officials here, is making sure that once you get the momentum, you sustain it. Because this kind of infrastructure, really to be successful in my mind, has to be infrastructure that the entire city can see the benefit of. It can be a uniting force in the city, and it can be a momentum builder, not just in a couple fiber hoods, but in all fiber hoods. And I think that phase is really, you're on the cusp of that now. Once this ball starts rolling, the doors are easier to knock on, the speeches are easier to give, and the momentum starts to build. So congratulations to all the cities, to the state of Mississippi, and to C Spire, a wonderful private partner that's moving this state and all of your cities forward. And I'm just honored to be here with you all.